So, all right, guys, let's continue with the next part of the Ansible, right? So, today, guys, again, we are going to discuss some more new concepts of the Ansible, right? Okay. So, normally, the topic that I'm going to discuss right now come normally into the complex topics of Ansible or the some advanced topic of Ansible. This is not I am saying it is normally according to programs or according to curriculum. They say it is some of the component come in the advanced and the complex type of the Ansible. But for me it is and for you guys would be it would be a very simple topic, right? But yeah, this concept where we use a lot in some normal coding portion of the Ansible, right? So multiple topics, guys, we are going to discuss today. The one other topic would be because maybe guys now you might feel if you want to do any kind of configuration management, okay, in any of your OS running on the cloud or running on your virtual machine, running on the Docker, right? You have to write multiple code. Maybe the way you manage that will be your way. Most of the time we use role to manage the code, but the code will be very bigger, and because the code will very bigger, so there's might be most of the most of the time, guys, it would be it might be the possibility your code might fail. There might be some kind of error come up. And if you say if you write a very much powerful code and help you to set up one bigger environment or complex environment, so you should be good in how to manage that or how to handle that. Right? So guys, one of the topic for today would be error handling. Sometime it is known as exception handling. So one of the topic we are going to do today is exception handling. But maybe some more topic we have to be discussed. Some more topics. Maybe we have a topic of loops, and if not the basic loop, some kind of advanced loop. If you want to do a loop on the top of dictionary or maybe on the top of other arrays, how we can do, and some more small concepts we are going to do, right? So these are the guys main sorry, the plan and the agenda for this training. But before, guys, I start this particular training, I would like to start with very simple uh, module called command module. There's a lot of challenges, guys, in the command module. Even though from the first day maybe we are using the command module, but there's some challenges on the command module that command module can't do for you. Okay, but yeah, in some exception world, right, we have to use command module or the command task. But some of the things, guys, command task can't do for you. What are those something that command task can't do for you? And if they won't able to do those things for you, how you will achieve those tasks? So there's two main implementation that command module won't able to do for you. So if you go to Ansible doc and search about the command module. So you guys know command module. If you want to go to your managed node and you want to run some of your OS tasks, there we use a command module. Right? So multiple commands we have run, right? Like delete command, kill command, something like this, right? But there's some limitation on this command module, and how to solve this limitation we will discuss right now. Okay, and that would be lead us to the new topic for today, and it will lead us slowly to the topic of exception handling and some more other topics also. Okay, so let me start the topic from very basics. What is the command module exactly do, and what is the limitation of this particular command module? Okay, so let me start from here. So guys, I'm doing all the practical in the same in the same machine, because you guys know where you run the Ansible code is known as controller node, and if you run the code in the same node, right? That's called a local host. You can run it. So same control node you can use to run your code, and that's called managed node. Okay, so I'm making my system as a control node plus the managed node, because the practice that I'm going to show you, maybe you can launch one more node, would be your choice, but output will be the same. As such, there will be no extra error come up, right? So I'm going to use my node as a local host. Okay, and guys, by default, local host, we don't have to provide any entry. By default, local host inventory is preset. Okay, even though very quickly, if you want to check, does we have entry for the local host in my inventory? It is internally added. You don't have to add any inventory for the local host. It is still there. Otherwise, they give you the error, right? It's there. So this entry is already there. You don't have to add. So what exactly we are going to do? I'm going to show you some of the core core internals of the command module, right? So for this, let me create one folder called code. Let me manage all of my code here. Let me write cmd.yml file, and the code and the playbook I would like to run on the local host. And the task I'm going to use would be one module called command module. And guys, in the command module, we have a capability to run the commands. Okay. And so this is very basic code. You guys know, let me very quickly run this code. Okay. And I told you guys already, Ansible is famous, or this kind of tool is famous for the resource abstraction layer, right? It means if you want to create the directory or you want to create a user, you don't have to remember the command, right? They have the module for everything. So for example, for software, rather than we know the yum command, they have a package module. Rather than we use system serial command, they have a service module. So typically, guys, it is always recommend don't use any any commands, right? But there might be some possibilities, right? Then we have to go for the command because that particular module is not available in the Ansible. Okay, maybe there might be a requirement that you have your own scripting created by your team in some language. Let's say some script they created that's called my.perl script, or maybe my.python script. So this is script. Or script is also like a one kind of program or one kind of command. Obviously, guys, this is your customized script. Maybe this script is helping for doing backups or doing some replicas. Or depend, guys, or maybe maybe connecting database, extract or load the export and import the load data from the database. So a script is doing something for you. And because this is your customized script for a company, and if you want to run this script, obviously, guys, for this script, because this is customized for your company and customized for your project, right? So they obviously there's no meaning to have pre-created task, because this is your own customized script, right? The task is created or the module is created only for the generalized thing. For example, if you go to any of the Reddit OS in the world, Reddit 8, the command system ctl, or if you go to any of the Reddit OS, the command is yum. Right? If you go to any Ubuntu, command is apt-get for installing the software. So those generalized thing, we have created the modules. Okay, but something that is customizable or customized, there's no meaning. There's no chance also to have the pre-created modules. The only way, or one of the way, I say, one of the way to run these programs or these command or these script by using the command module. And I told you guys, whenever you use the module like command, where you are directly using the command or where you're directly using your own internal scripts, whatever the language you created on, you never get the beauty of the Ansible that's called idempotence. And guys, you know what is the use of idempotent, right? Mostly all of a module, example, package is one of the tasks or the module. They are very intelligent. They support idempotent. What they do, when you ask to install the software, they will first go and check. And the software is there, they won't run this code. And if software is not there, then they run the code that is called state. So they maintain the state. They know the state of current and the desired state. That you know, guys. So almost if you use any of the I'm so sorry, guys. If you use any of the pre-created module, they support idempotent. But if you talk about the command, right, they don't support idempotent. Okay, but right, there's sometimes not good. because every time when I run my code, this command run. Every time I run my code, this command run. Or maybe this script run, or maybe this program run, or maybe this program has a capability to do the backup. And because we already did the backup, they again do the backup. Or this program maybe have a capability to again import, but we already imported, they again import. Or this program has a duty to run the date command. We already run the date command. I don't want to run this command again. So they always guys run for you. So sometimes guys, always run would be good. Sometimes if you run every time you run the playbook, it is not good. It will impact the performance. And sometimes right, again run the command also fail the code. Okay, so sometimes guys running this command again and again because the command module never work as idempotent, so they always run. And because they always run, so sometimes depend on the command to command, they might fail. Let me give one quick demo for this, right? So okay, before I do the demo, this part guys, you know already, when you run any command from the command module, and if you run inside the playbook, they never print the output. And if you want to print the output, you guys know you have to register this output or store this output in some variable. And if you want to print, the way you print is you can use debug module, and we can ask the debug to print this variable. This part you guys know. So right now the challenge is because we use a command module, and the challenge in the command module is every time if you run the command, you want to run this command or you don't want to run the command, they always run. See, always you see the orange color. Orange color means we are changing something, or because we are changing something, they run. And because they run right now, because they did command, it won't impact so much, but they run and they give you the output here. See, output come up. But not always we want to run my command or my scripts. Maybe you have a bigger workload or bigger data you want to export here and there, or maybe some command you run, they will fail if you run second time. Let me show you one demo, right? So in the Linux, we have a very basic command. The command name is called mkdir. It will create a directory. And if you ask this command to create a directory in temp folder, for example, with the name Vimal. Okay, so see guys, when you run this command first time, they run this command. After they run the command, okay, after they run the command, they will print the output. Or let me guys do one more thing. Let me just for testing, just for testing, I am running the debug command and asking debug command to print some message. Let's say and bye bye, something like this. Just for testing, right? So what happened guys when I run this code? Let's see what happened. So if you see here guys, first time my command run, orange color come up because command module always run for you. And because they run, so you can see X has a variable called RC. I already guys talk about this RC. Written code was successful. There's no challenge. And we also print this message and also. But same code without any change. What you will see, you might see, you might see something happen. Guys, this command failed. The command module always run. They doesn't support idempotent, and they run mkdir command. And guys, there's challenge in the mkdir command in the Linux. If you try to create a directory from the mkdir command, let's say I create a directory of pop. First time they run. Same command if you run one more time. So mkdir directory say a command say this directory is already there. Why are you asking me to create again? So this command fail with some error. This is one error they throw. And guys, whenever any program or any module or any command throw error, command module fail. And because command module fail, guys, I told you guys in the Ansible, if one of the in the process, if any of the module fail, the remaining module also fail. Also fail. Okay. So, but challenge guys, why they fail? They fail because of the command module. And why the command fail? The command module is not intelligent at all. They don't support desired state or the current state. They always run the command. Always run some of the command might be okay, but 99% they are not okay to run this command again and again, because whatever we wanted is already there, right? So I want a way that when I run this command module, they will just go and check does this directory exist? If it exists, then they skip this particular task. Okay, or they won't run this task. It is like a we are guarding, this called GURAD, guard. We want to create a guard, typically known as, we have to create a idempotent nature. Okay, so I told you guys 99% all the packages, 99% all the packages or module in the Ansible, they have a capability of testing if or else. They have a capability of testing idempotence behind the seal, but command module don't have, because they actually calling your base OS command. And why we need to call a base OS command, given some example use cases to you here. But challenge here, let's see. Let's say we have this command. Even though guys in the Ansible we have a file module to create the directory, let's forget for some time, we don't have a file module. And if you want to create a directory, this is the only way to run the command module. But you want to make the command module to work like idempotent. You don't want the command will fail uh, by this particular directory. So something like this you want. So how we can? Okay, so guys, this is one of the limitation of the command module that I'm talking about. So and if you go to the command module, they have two limitation. One limitation they have, they doesn't support idemp potent. This is one limitation we have. One more limitation we have in the command module. What we have, I will explain you in a minute. But let me first show you this particular demo. Okay, how we can make our command module as idempotent. Okay. Let me show you this demo. Before guys, I'll go for this particular demo. I have one great announcement for you. Announcement for you, especially guys, for you guys as Ansible guys, because right now you are has been registered into the Red Hat official program. But it's not like this. Every Red Hat official program we arrange this part. What I'm going to announce you right now. But for especially for you guys, tomorrow guys, we have invited some great personality on this Ansible technological world. So there's one very senior concept senior solution architect from the Red Hat, who work on multiple companies and solve their different use cases on different business use cases on the Ansible. So we have invited, his name is Anant. He's a senior solution architect from the Red Hat, senior solution architect. Okay, so he will be here in this live session here, and he will share you guys some of the great use case of the Ansible. How industry using the Ansible, what different kind of use cases they are solving, how they are implementing, integrating Ansible with other technologies. So lots of guys different use cases Anant will share. Okay, plus we also invited one more very senior personality in the from the Red Hat. So sorry, one of the profile of this guy, he is the director of Red Hat India, or I think Asia also, or the SAARC region maybe. Okay, so he is the director of Red Hat. His name is Mr. Ramesh. He also would be there with you guys tomorrow, and he will talk about the some real business use cases. So this is a pure technical guys, pure technical guy. He will talk more about the technical perspective. Maybe if we have time, they might show you some practical demos also if we have time. But he talk about more about the technical perspective that you guys wanted. He will talk more about the management perspective or the business perspective, how the company is changing their environment and moving toward the Ansible, and which kind of use cases they have. And these guys will be with his manager, his name Abid. Maybe Abid might also share something. So three guys we have invited exclusively for you Ansible guys. Maybe we might also invite some of my other few classes guys also. Maybe we might invite some student from DevOps assembly line. because Ansible is more about DevOps, because these technical guys might discuss some great use case, maybe related to DevOps. They also learn how in the current market industry is moving. Or maybe we also invite hybrid multi-cloud also. Okay, so these two guys we also might invite. Okay, but these guys we invited, these three guys we invited exclusively for you, so they can see. The talk would be purely on Ansible. Okay, so you will see the actual even though tons of example I have discussed in this class, but this will the example and use case that I explain you go through in this class, it is more about so that you learn how to integrate. For example, you know how to use the Vault, what kind of use case you can use. But this guy will give you the complete flow of the use cases, right? So tomorrow same time, no difference. So let's see how much time the this talk go. It is like a complete uh, webinar kind of thing, right? Or is a guest appearance, you can say. Okay, so this talk will maybe go half an hour, 1 hour. And if we left with the time, we will again continue with the next topic of Ansible. But the first topic, the first we started our program with these guys, and then if we got the time, we will learn some more thing the way we always do. Okay, so we'll share you guys the invite link to everybody. Will be again from the dashboard only on Zoom, but we'll soon invite you guys. It's a good learning curve for you to see what exactly and how exactly industry using Ansible. Okay. So let's guys continue with the next topic. This part. So if you want um, if you want to set up this part, if you want to make your command module idempotent, how we can do. So first of all, guys, first of all, in this particular example, you have to do one small thing. One small thing. Um, um, what can you do? You can write here ignore error. You guys know why we write ignore error, so that at least right now for a while, if this module fail, error come up, and because of the error my program doesn't crash. Because any of the task fail, remain task also fail. So this keyword I always show you. So if you think there's a possibility this task might fail, you can use ignore error. This is a way to handling your errors, and they won't. So they will skip this guy and they will go to the next part. Just for testing, I'm just doing it. But right now, this is not the important part because we already discussed this keyword already. Okay. So what we'll see again, this part is skip, they ignore, and because this, actually first they run, right? Or because they run the field, they ignore, but at least my x know, x variable know, because we rest in the variable that this program failed. So we can use this, this in somewhere. But my main plan guys here is to show you how to make this particular module, command module, attached with some guard, or attached make this program called idempotent. Now for the guys, you have to use some skills of Linux, right? The skill that you have to use something like this. So let me open my new tab here. And what you have to do, you should know one small thing in Linux. If you want to check that there's some folder exist or not, for example, you want to test the Vimel folder exists or not. So ls is a command. ls command guys will tell you this folder exists or not. Okay, for example, when you run this command, they're not showing you anything because folder is empty, but but because this command runs successfully, so anybody who go through my basic class on Linux, there I explain you a concept of exit code. So when you run this command will throw one exit code and we can print this exit code with echo $? So when this command run, and this command will store one number in this variable called question mark here. Okay, and the value of question mark is 0. It means the last command was successful. But by chance, if I try to check this directory 123, obviously guys, this directory we haven't created, so this can't fail. Even though from the output also you can say it's fail, but if you use the exit code, so every command will update this variable. You can see the value change. So any command who run and throw the exit code number called 0, it means the last command was successful. Anything anything apart apart from 0, it is means the last command was failure. I got this is the sorry, this is the keyword used by your command module. So command module guys always check this keyword. They run this command, okay, and when they run this command, or not the command module, if you use any module, maybe command module or package module, behind the scene every module guys they run the command. Like if you go to package module, they run the yum command and the yum command, if the yum command successful, yum command will send exit code 0, and by this your task come to know this program run successful. Okay, so every module 99.9% they they come to know are they successful run or fail because of the exit code. Okay, so there's guys this approach we are going to use. So if you want to find this directory exists or not, right, we can use this command. So how we can use this command? Let's guys, we have a plan. We have a plan that we would like to create this directory, and the directory name is called Vimal123. We will have to create it. But what I want guys, what I want, okay, before I create this directory, I will have to check this directory is created or not. But command module don't have a capability to check it. So what can we do? We can write one more command module and ask this module, can you please go and check this directory? This directory is created or not. And when you check this directory is created or not, okay, any of the output please register in the variable, let's say s variable. So this directory created or not, that's stored in the x variable. Okay, when this directory is not created, ls command always give you error, and any command that give you error or exit code, this particular module fail. So then directory is not exist, this task fail. So I don't want this task to fail. So again, I can use. So in a minute, you come to know what exactly I'm doing here. You come to, you can use ignore errors. Yes. So typically what happened, we run this module, output this command is stored in S. And what S content, S will store in one variable, this value 0 and 2 and something like this. And where they store guys, I told you when you run anything, so in the registry, they store in the RC value. In RC 0, it means directory is there. So what is my plan guys? What we have to do here? Okay, we have to do something like this. Okay, what we have to do, first we run this command. Why this command? Because our requirement is to create the directory. A directory is created by command module, and command module, because it doesn't support idempotent, command module doesn't check this directory created for us or not, because they doesn't know how to check. Then we have to check. We have to check. For directory, we have to use ls command. For maybe if you want to install the software, maybe for the software you can use rpm command. For backup, maybe you can use rsync command or some hashes or md5 hash or something like the signature maybe. So depend guys, what you doing here? What a script is doing here? Okay, so for testing this command is run or not, successful run or not, what normally you do for testing. So in the directory world, if you want to test directory created or not, we use ls command. So what we do guys, before we run this command, okay, before we run this command, we test this command, and output is stored in s. And if s say I am successful, s has one variable called rc say I am successful, my value is 0, it means this directory already exists. It means we don't want to run this command again. If you run, this will fail. Okay, but if s say no, I'm not 0, I'm not equal to 0, it means this directory don't exist. And because directory don't exist, then I have to run this. I have to run this. Okay, and if you run this, so if this will create for you. So typically guys, what can we do here? Okay, ignore errors is not always the good practice to do. Here we don't need ignore error. We can write one condition here. We can write condition here. We'll go to s and ask in your rc variable, right? Does the value is 0? If the value is 0, it means directory exists. Then only they use say the value is 0. If directory exists, there's no meaning to create the directory again. But here I just have to go to in reverse way. I want to check directory doesn't exist. So I have to use not equals to. Not equals to. It means if directory not exist, the value is not 0. And value is not 0, then only I will create the directory. So you know what, guys, what finally we achieve by this example, what I achieve, because a command module doesn't support idempotent. They doesn't know how to check the current state. In this case, these are some exceptions. It's not exception handling concept, right? This is some exception of the Ansible from the first day I'm talking about. We have to create our conditions. We have to check by ourselves. Okay, and after we check, okay, then we have to take the decision here. Should we run this program or should we don't run this command? But again, it's depend upon your requirement, right? Right now, my requirement is mkdir. If you want to check the mkdir or if you want to test the mkdir, we have to use ls. But maybe you have to deploy one website deployed not, then for testing you might use curl command or get url command to fetch the file. If the file is fetching, it means it's already deployed. So it depends, guys, how you want to test every thing. For testing, we have different ways. Yum, we can test with rpm command. Mkdir directly we can test with ls command. If you deploy the website, you can test with wget command or curl command. So every way testing is different. So it's good practice, guys, always to test. So it is like this, if or else. So if directory won't exist, then we create. If directory exists, we won't create. Something like this. So good thing about Ansible is Ansible, you don't have to write if or else. You don't have to write these concepts, when close. Okay, if you use any other module like package module or service module or copy module, right? But here we have to write, because command module doesn't support idempotence. This is one of the limitation of the command module. Okay, now if I run my command, so according to my system, even though if I go and check according to my system, this directory is not exist. Manually I'm checking here. So my program is become intelligent, even though we are using command module. But the command module become intelligent, and command module say, I notice and we found somehow the directory won't exist. So because directory won't exist, so I run I run command module, or because I run the command module, so directory created. But if you run next time, because somebody make me as the idempotent, so next time if you ask me to create this directory again, I won't create again. Okay, or even though I won't fail also, I will skip. See here, the skip. Though they won't fail, obviously directory already exists, so there's no meaning to check again. So guys, this is one limitation on the command module. To depend upon requirement to requirement, what exactly you want to do here, export, import, whatever you want to do. First, always good practice, guys, to go and check, does we have this module available? And guys, if module is not available, you can do one more thing. Right, lots of guys has created roles for us. For example, if you check, does we have a module available to configure web server? DAC module for web server, we don't have to manually install the software or config file. Or does we have module available for configure HA proxy? Even though we can create a roles, right, but but there's no SS module available for configuring the HA proxy. So lot of guys, communities guys, has created a role, just one role, right? One role is like a package, or think package is like a module and package is a little bit different thing, but think package a role like a module. So a lot of guys, community guys, has created a role for implementing different thing for like HA proxy, like databases or Oracle setup, or as a WebSphere, something like this. And they create a role, they pack the role in one package, typically known as role only, and they upload this role in some centralized repository. So there's a public centralized repository we have. Okay, they upload there. They upload there. So publicly they upload, Depend, they have private also, but publicly they upload. So in the other world, if like example I create it, so other guys will go here and download and use it. So it is something like a Docker, right? And Docker, we have a Docker hub. Similarly here, they centralized repository known as Ansible Galaxy. So they have one centralized repository of Galaxy. Okay, so if you want to go and check Ansible Galaxy, so this is the site. It's like a centralized public repository. So if you go here, and almost all the technological role normally related to the technology that you can configure with the Ansible, they created here. Right, so different guys what you want to check, so related to networking, development, packaging, cloud, securities. So multiple guys has created a role here. You just go and search, for example, maybe I am looking for the web technology, just click here. These are most popular one, click here. So almost all the role, or the packages created for the web technology, you can see it's like to Fabric, it's Selenium, AWS Cloud collections, multiple for Docker, Java, Nginx, PHP, Apache server. So guys, we have configured our own role for Apache, role for Apache. But you don't have to create. Just go here and download and use it. Very much famous. These much download they have, so great score also they have. Okay, so you can go and download it, these guys. You also know how to create, but rather than you create, the role also created. Guys, how to download from here. Just click and they give option to download. Okay, after download, it is a role. You know how to put the role in your system in the role path, and you also know how to register your role with the host. You just go roles in your playbook and use it. So almost guys is this search button here. Right, almost all the technological right, all the technological um, what do you say, rated role available. You don't have to create from the scratch. So it means everything you can do from this role. But why we are learning this Ansible? Because maybe you have your own customization, right? Maybe you have your customer requirement, and that customer requirement obviously don't have the role, so you should know how to create your own role. So that's why guys we learn in this training, right? Plus maybe this role, whatever they give you, might not be the way I wanted. I would like to customize, so either create your own role, or maybe you can go and sorry, you can go here and customize the role also. You guys know how to go inside the role and customize. So let me guys show you how to use this role. But similarly, you can just go here and search. If you guys working on networking, so they have a if I quickly show you, anybody who want to work in the networking, okay, just search here for the networking, maybe some Cisco router, or Hello Pelt, or Juniper. So they have multiple rules for multiple different technologies. So you want to use a role for GNS. So multiple different kind of GNS we have in the market, but I think this GNS is more about the GNS emulator. Anybody who work on Cisco router or something like this, Juniper, so there we use this emulator. Most probably this module is for the GNS, but maybe there's other GNS also available, maybe, right? Right, so it's for AOS switches, NOS, Renware, right? So ACI, so multiple different roles we have. Maybe you can search for Cisco, so you find Juniper, so you find ASF firewall of Cisco they have. Again, very famous also. Right, so you just go and download and use it. Some customers you might require, but just go and download and use it right from here. So how to download and how to use it? For example, even though you can also upload your role, so you just go here, create your account, create your account, and after create the account, you will have a capability, you can upload the role of your role. Okay, but how to use? But right now my topic was a little bit different. So what I'm trying to tell you here, okay, so most probably guys, we always use a modules here that is from the Ansible like package module, or sorry, the like the module we have is called service module, copy module. But sometime sometime we want to use the role. Okay, so either you create the role or you can download the role from this galaxy. That'll be your choice. But there's sometime they might have requirement. There's no package available. There's no role available. They have some very customized requirement, some customized script. The only option available with the command module. And if you use the command module, according to me, for you guys, it should be your last gateway of resort. Always use the command module in the last if nothing is available, right? Then use it. But command module is not idempotent. You have to make it. Not always we can do, depending on which script you are running. So in the script, do you have any way to testing? If we have, we can make this command idempotent. Otherwise, we can't. Right? This is the one small drawback here. Okay, but otherwise this kind of script we can make to make the command idempotent. Okay, guys, this is one of the issue we have in the command module. One more issue we have. After I explain this issue, then I'll show you how to use this galaxy. Okay, but lots of guys, very much famous community, lots of modules, or I say the rule, sometimes also known as package available here. Okay, so let me show you guys one more limitation on the command module. For showing this limit, let me quickly create one more file, cmds.yml. Okay, again, I'm running on my local host. Let's say we have one small requirement. So you guys might know, if you talk about Linux, so this guy is known as Linux command line. Okay, and this command line running with one program behind the scene is known as shell. And if you want to know the name of the shell, you can use this variable to print the name of your shell. So shell name is bash shell. So like this, we have multiple shells, bash, ss, something like this. Or because you are running on the top of the cell, because you are running on the top of the cell, so cell has their own capabilities. For example, guys, for example, we have this file. This file, just a file, guys. On the cat, we can print the output of the file, the output print, and every line is something. Every line is information of our user, for example. And then we have a requirement. I don't want to print all the file data. I would like to count the number of line, because maybe I have a requirement to count the number of user, because in this file, every line is one user information. So I can use pipe option in my Linux, and wc-l is one command in Linux. It will help you to count the number of lines. So if you go to my Linux basic classes, you might know this command. Typically it is a command. Cat is also command, wc also command, but pipe is actually not a command. It is a facility or the feature of your Linux shell. Which shell? Bash shell. This facility. Okay, or because this is a facility of your Linux shell. Okay, and if you want to use this facility, if you want to use this facility in the command module, let's see what happened. So I'm going to run again one more task, and again I have some custom requirements. So I would like to run a command module. I would like a command module, and I would like to run this particular command. This command. So typically, guys, command module is meant for command, right? So I am running the command here. But only challenge, guys, here is in the command module, by chance, we would like to use the facility of your Linux shell. You know, Windows shell, Windows shell that normally doesn't support some of the shell, I say, right? So I would like to use this facility. So what happened, guys? Let's see. So if I run this program, let's see. It will fail. It will fail. They say you are running the command module, and command module is good running the command, but actually this symbol is coming up. I don't understand. I don't able to interpret this particular concepts. Okay, symbol, because I am a command module. I am not sorry. I'm not cell. Okay, so technically, guys, there's one more limitation in the command module. If you want to use any cell related features like pipe symbol, greater than symbol, double greater than symbol, less than symbol, in the cell, guys, we use this symbol for multiple things, right? You can't use from the command module because command module, guys, actually internally going to your OS and running the command there directly there, right? Without using the cell, right? Without using the cell. Okay, and that is, guys, good thing about the command module. Here, guys, I was talking about two things that is not good in the command module: idempotent, and second, it doesn't support cell feature. Okay, but the good thing about the command module is, okay, they give you extra security. Right? If you don't want to use cell to run the command, or it is something like this, you want to create one isolated environment and you run your command there. In this scenario, command module is not always good. Right? So maybe, because you guys might be asking, if everything is good, bad in the command module, why we need a command module? So if you don't want to use cell to running the command, because normally in the Linux we use in the Linux we use cell to run the command. But it's not compulsory, guys. Even though without cell also I can go to this particular location where this command available. I can go here and double click and run it. So we don't need cell always. So if you don't want to use cell, you can do it. So in the Ansible perspective, for this you can use command module. And without cell, if you directly run the command, so it will also won't impact you in the terms of performance of extra overhead, plus also give extra security. But we don't have unwanted extra layer right over here. Maybe cell has some limitation or some kind of security challenges, maybe. And I would like to run my command like in my own world or my isolation world. In this kind of requirement, command module is great. But only challenge in the command module, they don't support idempotent. So, but here we made my program idempotent. I show you. But in by chance in the command, if some cell symbols come up, sometimes come up, right? Then we can't use command module. Then the options that is available we have. So like the command module, it is exactly like the command module is known as cell module. So instead of the command module, let me comment this line. There's a way to comment in the Ansible. Right? We can use cell. So guys, a lot of guys initially keep on asking me in initial classes the different cell. So I just waiting for this class to explain you the actual difference. Even though I've seen guys, multiple guys is using sometimes cell, sometimes command, and most of the time they doesn't know why they're using. So I'm not saying something is good or something is bad. I'm trying to explain you where to use what. So if anything, this kind of symbol come up, the only way that you can use is cell module. So you will go to your respective OS, what are the current cell they have. For example, they go to my Linux, they they auto-fetch the cell, or typically they use the SS cell. And because they use cell, now we'll see this command will run for you. So there will be no error come up. So otherwise, cell module is like a command module. The only difference is, okay, cell module behind this in call some cell. They call some cell. Typically, I think they by default they call this cell. There's multiple cells we have in Linux. If you want to check, maybe you can use echo command to print the cell name, but but there's one small thing. So guys, both is good. Depend what exactly you want to use. Accordingly, you can plan. Okay. This is, guys, the difference between cell and the command module. And that is the one more things. If you want to make your program idempotent in the cell or the command module, again, cell module doesn't support idempotent also. So it's the same like command module. So you want to make the cell module also like idempotent, the way I do here for the command you can do. Okay. Or the difference command and cell, they work in their own world, give more extra securities, better performance. Cell help you in this symbol. So even though, guys, if you go to the document of the command module also, they might also say this. So command module, I don't support these features. If you want to use cell module. So they also be very clarified nowadays. Before they was not, but yeah, nowadays they're very clear. Okay. So guys, this is one of the concepts I explain you. One more concept that will be related to Galaxy. So right now, if you want to pull this particular module from this particular guy, you can download. But before download, guys, let me do one thing. If I check how many Ansible Galaxy module we have, and you know, guys, module is like a role. So we have these two roles. Who created? We have created in this folder. We have created. But if you want to download the role, so if you go to Ansible Galaxy, have an H if you write, then they give you some option here, collections and roles, something like this. But they don't have options here. You won't see any option here to download. So for this, for this in the Ansible Galaxy, okay, manage role. If you go to role, okay, they have options to list, to install, and to search also. Okay, so typically guys, initially we had a different command. Even though you see the command is here different, right? But now in this particular version of Ansible, right now the version we have, you have to go for this command. Right? Even though you can search from here also, you don't have to go to Ansible Galaxy portal. You can use a search command to search the role. For example, I'm searching for all the role name Apache. You can search from here. Okay, so you want to search, you can use this. So you guys, if you have a proper internet connection in this particular machine, they go to internet and they're showing you they match this much role. They show you top 1,000 result of these guys where they match this tag. This tag means these tags. So they might had some tags here somewhere. These are the tags. Some tags somewhere they write. Maybe inside this role they write, or maybe in the details. So it is something like this. The way you search here. So if I search for Apache, so they show you this much result, something like this. They show you this much result they find. Okay, and this show you all the role. So without coming to this portal, you can search from here also. So they show you all the roles. Just keep on pressing a space bar and just show you all the roles they have. Right? So you can use the search command to search all the roles. Okay. And guys, because right now we are into the Ansible very latest version, right? Very latest version. So the command is inside the role. Otherwise, actual command is Ansible Galaxy space search space name of your role, like this. But let's say you want to install this particular role, this particular role. All right, which one? Let's show you last one. This role. Then you should know the role name. By chance the role name is this one. We can use this role name to install. Okay, so what this install will do, this install command will do, they will go to internet, just come here, download this role, and after download, they install for you, right? So let me show you. So I'll just use Ansible Galaxy command, install, and the name of the role is, let me search, type here, GERLIN, Linux guy maybe, .apache. Okay. So this command require internet connectivity. This command will go. See here, they go, they find this role name by this name. Even though guys, if you understand one small thing here there's syntax, right? Uh, After the dot, we give the role name, and before the dot, we have the account name. Maybe guys, I might also have my account with the name Vimal. And in my account, I also have a role called Apache. So if you want to download my role Apache, you can write vimal.apache. So this is a syntax we use. So this syntax means the owner name. Okay, and after dot, this is called role name. They go and download to this URL. After download, they install. And typically guys, when I say install, typically install is nothing. Install is just like download and extract in this folder. So you see guys, they here extracted. And you guys know, whenever any folder come in this folder, for my system, it become one more new role come up. So now see guys, these two role we have created, one more role we have downloaded. And I think this is the one more good way to learn Ansible. Everybody has a different approach to create the role. Everybody has a different way to create the task and handle other things. So just go and just download some greater roles or packages from the Galaxy and use your skills, whatever you guys learn till date. So you'll see guys a lot of new approach. You'll see a lot of new way you also learn from these guys. But you can use this rule, right? This is a very highly tested rule because they are come in the top stars. Okay, so very highly tested. Just go and read, or maybe they give you some readme file also. They show you want to do something extra, what extra they can do. So I told you guys in some of the classes when I start the role, when you go for any other role, they give you they say they have already created some variable for you. So if you want to do some changes, you can use this variable to change. So when you use this role, right, you can use this variable to change the port number, to change the HTTPS port number or something like this. So by default, they configure for you, but they give you some variable if anybody have interest to change change their role variables. Let's go role variable. We also use, right? So you can go to your inventory file and go and change. So in the document, even though you can go to their Intel code because we know technically, but those guys who don't know so much about the technical, okay, they will go, they will use this document, and this document say these are the variable they use. So if you want to override something, you can use this variable in this role to override something. Okay, so this is the same example we have discussed when we create our own Apache role, right? But main thing is, if you want to install, either you can use this command or the newer command is this one. Newer command in this version is a role install. This is a newer command. Okay, so we have already installed. They show you the warning, but this is the new command in this version. So most of the document guys, they show you a little bit the older command, but according to our version 2.9 something, this is the better command or new command. Okay, but if you go inside this role, you can see exactly same. Right, exactly same. They have handler folder, task folder, variable folder, template folder. If you go to task to see how they write the code, multiple files get right here. All right, so it means it look very but obvious. Okay, they the main file always run, but in the main file they might write a conditions. And in the condition they write, if you are running this code when your OS is Red Hat, so they use the facts to check we run this program. If the OS is Debian, we run this program. So they write in this main file. So again, you also see some extra things here. So here, this is the way they include. They include the variable. You guys know how to include the variables. Okay, but here if you go and see, they include the task. So guys, what you learn today extra automatically by chance, if you want to include some extra file, this is the way. So in one task, if you want to include other task, there's a keyword called include underscore task. Right, and for one task, if you want to include the variable, you can use include variables that we already discussed. Right, so they write here. So what they write here, I'm going to include this file, and there's some more things. They write, if the OS is this one, we run we use this variable. If OS is this one, we run this variable. Something like this, guys, we have also discussed. But they write for multiple OS. So multiple OS we have. So one role they want to create, the one role they want to create to set up the Apache server, either Red Hat, Solid, SUSE, or something like this. And if you open the setup file for Red Hat, all right, and it is like we have configured, right? You know what we have configured? We install the software. So they use one variable here. They use the state, and they use the enable repo, means means they are using some yum. They're enabling some yum for you. Okay, so something. So it's good, guys. A good way to see how they're writing this code. Okay, so because this guy trying to make this code very much this rule or package very much for all the OS. So they create multiple files, and good things they include it. Same thing you can also use if you think there's lots of code become very heavy tasks. you can separate the code and include here with the include keyword. And if you notice here, they also use one command module also. Okay, why? There's a reason for this. Again, this topic is related to Apache. But normally, guys, if you want to check, does your OS has Apache installed or not? So not every OS has a yum command or RPM command. Okay, but Apache has their own command, -v. Through this command, right? This command run in all the OS. So they're trying to run this command. If this command runs successful, then they come to know Apache installed. Or maybe they want to try to find the version of the Apache also. Okay, maybe some of the in the yum module we don't have the option, for example, to find the version, maybe. Okay, but Apache has the command that is work in all the platform. So this again one of the scenario where we can use the command module and output their rest in some variable. And this variable they are using printing the output. Print the output. Output, guys, contain multiple data. So like one string they split and second column they print. It's like a same concept we use in the Python other language also. Something like this. Okay, so guys, so again, very much interesting to go to this task. Depend, guys, upon the environment. So again, one more small task, if you want to check from my side, just whatever technology, guys, you work on and you guys are working on, maybe networking, maybe cloud, just go to Galaxy, download some of the latest rules. That's called Galaxy rules or your packages. Download, and after download, go inside and go through it. You will see some more better way, some more new options to also go and check to 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 learn over here. Right, so there's some more option we have. As such we don't require, but list explain you search, and in it we already use to create your own role locally. If you want to remove the path or role from the path, you can use remove. Install we see today. So there's some more information, guys, I have given about the sorry, about the Galaxy. Okay, one more, guys, information I would like to tell you here right now. Even though I recommended recommend over here, okay, not for this program. In the first day I told you in Ansible, whatever the possible thing available in the Ansible world, I will explain you. And that is the reason, guys, in 294 training, there's a lot of things not available in this program, the way the program is built, because it's a core level program, obviously. So I touch almost everything. There's some more things left, no doubt. We will discuss in upcoming class. 407 also we cover, right? But maybe there might be a lot of things this might be not there in 407. But I told you guys in initial classes, everything we will cover in this program. Even though it was not the initial plan, but I told you in the second day. So that's what we are doing here. Okay. But one thing we are not going to touch in this particular program, even though the two things I think is multiple time I told you, if you want to create your own module, this is not we are going to discuss in this program. Okay, what I mean by this, it's not role, guys. Role we discuss already in detail. Module means like if you want to create your own package module, right, or service module. This thing we are not going to discuss in this program. Why? There is a reason, guys. Because if you want to create the module, Ansible won't help you. This is not the duty of the Ansible. Okay, the programmer of the Ansible they do, and typically they program the module in the Python code. Obviously, guys, this is in the Python training. So there's no great reason to discuss how to create the module. But anybody who are there in my Rise training of the Python, so maybe in upcoming class, some of the example I will discuss there. That will give you the path how to create a module like package, something like this. But in this training, there's no meaning to discuss the Python, right? So this is the reason I'm not covering here. And one more topic that I won't like to, I don't want to cover here, topic called Ansible Tower. Again, I told you initial classes also. Why? Because this is the independent product from the Red Hat, and they have the independent, very core advanced training called 447. It is coming in the RHCA module, one complete course. So officially I can't I can't discuss because they have a different course altogether, and this is a product from the Reddit. This is one of the reasons. Otherwise, this is a big product altogether. But conceptually wise, everything whatever we discuss Ansible, everything's there. The only thing is this product is like a management product. Management product. Okay, where they have a web UI, and from the web UI you just go and just here we create an inventory manually or dynamically. So they have the drag and drop. Just you have the inventory, you have the IP address, or you have the module or role. You just go and attach to somebody, and when you run, they give the output the GUI or web UI. They create a report, dashboards. They have metrics they show you. So it is like a management portal. So a whole core of normally we use a lot in the real world, no doubt, but in this training there's no meaning to discuss. None of this training cover this. A specialized training they have read it. Right? So maybe in the future anybody wanted to learn, this might be the great track 447 to learn Ansible Tower, right? Otherwise you can think it is something like this. So anybody who know Kubernetes, anybody who know OpenShift, so Kubernetes is like a core, right, for running the Docker, and OpenShift is like a management portal run in the top of Kubernetes. So you can think Kubernetes like Ansible, OpenShift is like Ansible. Just think in this way. Okay, so guys, those who know OpenShift is a big product altogether. So like this, Ansible also like a big product. The core concept is same, whatever we discuss in the Ansible. Okay, so let's go for guys one more topic to be discussed today. Okay, so next topic guys, I'm going to discuss about exception handling. Okay, one more guys, can you hold for a second? Okay, so let's go and discuss about the exception handling. Okay, so anybody who ever work on any programming language, you guys might have heard about a terminology called exception handling. Sometimes you can also see this guy's called error handling. Very straightforward topic. It is something like this. We have certain tasks, task number 1, task 2, task 3, and task 4. And we have a requirement. You guys know one thing: if one task fail, all the tasks fail. You guys know. But if one task fail, you don't want to that other task will also fail. You can use ignore error keyword to skip this part. This part you know. But there's sometimes we have a requirement where you have 4 tasks. I would like to run all the tasks. Okay, so if one of the tasks fail, there's no meaning to use this complete series of the task or the steps of the task. Okay, so what I want guys, maybe in my program I have multiple task 1, task 2, task 3, task 4, task 5, task 6, task 7. 5, 6, 7 may be independent. Okay, but sorry, if one of the tasks fail, all right, I don't want to use any of the tasks. Right, that's what I want. Okay, or instead, if I say if any of this task fail, I will give my Ansible. If any of this task fail, I'm giving you some more tasks like A, B, C, D. Just try to run this task and try this task. Okay, so typically, you know what I'm trying to tell you here is, if any task fail, let's say task number A fail. Okay, if task A fail, all the remaining tasks fail. Why they fail? Because Ansible say what you're talking about, I'm not able to understood. And because the thing that I'm not able to understood, for me, it is exception. And when any exception come up, or you can also use a term for a while, any error come up, I will skip all the tasks, whatever come after me. But maybe you will say, Ansible do one thing. If this task fail, I want you have to take proper decision. Don't fail other task. Okay, skip this. Plus also do one more thing, because this task fail. just please notify me, right, to my manager or my team, this task failed. Or maybe if this task failed, just use other approach. Maybe in this task you are using the port number 80. Maybe sometime my program might work on port number 81. Just go and try the 81. Or maybe you are logging with some database on a password Red Hat. Maybe it's failed. So maybe just we have one more backup password, for example. Just for example, just try with this password. Or maybe try to backup at this time, right, of this URL, and this URL might not work. Just go and use other URL. So in this kind of cases, guys, in this kind of requirement, or maybe this kind of requirement, okay, then what technically I'm talking about, I'm telling I'm telling to my Ansible, try this task, try this task. If this task fail, any exception come up, is this task fail, error come up, I'm giving you one more task. I'm just giving one more task. Just go and run that task. And typically, guys, in the programming world, this is known as, this concept again known as exception handling only, or maybe error handling only. But in this programming world, we use a keyword called try and catch. Right? So anybody who ever work on any programming language, you use try and catch a lot. Try means we will run these statements, this block of code. If this fail, then I won't crash my program. I will run this block of code. It's something like this. So again, let me explain very quickly. So I have task number A, task number B, and task C. I will first try these code. Any of the code fail, I won't crash my program. Right? Crashing is not good. Okay, I will go and ask my catch block, and they will run some other task for me. If it's not working, just let's try this. Maybe they are trying to install the software called HTTPD. Maybe in this OS we don't have this software. Maybe software name is Apache. So if the software is not there, just try with the software. This is just for one example. Okay. So normally in programming language, it's called try. Try this block of code or this statement or this task. If this fail, then only run this. It is like if or else. But in the Ansible, guys, this same concept is there. But instead of the try, we use one keyword called block. And instead of catch, we use a keyword called rescue. This keyword we use. So if you want to do exception handling, and it's good practice, because the code is always very big, very big. We don't know when my code will fail. So if you think there is a possibility in some of the the task, maybe a group of tasks or some of the tasks has a possibility they will fail, so always use a catch block, typically known as rescue block. So let me give you one very basic example here. So what I'm going to write here, I'm going to write one task called e.yml host, and going to run one task. Okay, and obviously, guys, the task I'm going to write will fail because I'm going to run a command. Run a command, and obviously I know this command right now is not exist, date1. So maybe I might think, guys, in my OS the command name is date1. Because I think the command name is date1. I tried, then I have one more task called debug. Just to want to print something, just for testing. Test and just to print something. So what happened, guys, because this this task failed, other tasks also fail. This part you guys know, but very quickly let me show you. This will also fail. Okay, so it's fail obviously, and next task also fail. Maybe right now here you can use echo ignore. But echo ignore will skip this task, but it won't take some decision like if or else. So what I do, maybe, guys, maybe I have confusion that if maybe this task might fail, maybe this script might fail, maybe this database upgrade might fail. Just try to upgrade the other command, something like this. So what I want, if this command doesn't work, just try this command, for example. So for this, you have to put this command or this block of task in the block keyword, and this block of command in rescue keyword. How? So here you have to write a keyword called block keyword. Block keyword. Block is a keyword. And now guys, now from onward guys, all of a task will become inside block keyword. Okay, so task is the main keyword, and this inside task we have block, and all the tasks you can write here. And then for rescue, you can write again the rescue here. And this will come inside the rescue. So it is exactly it is exactly like a try and catch. If you ever work on any programming language, even though if you not work, I already explain you. So what happened, right? Sorry, what happened when I asked my system to run my task in localhost? They run the task, but task say, I know you have to run this task, command task, package task, transfer task. But he also asked me to try it, try this block of task. Everything worked, that's good, nice. Go ahead, just run next task. But some of the things failed. Rather than you crash my program, just go to rescue, and then rescue whatever commands or tasks we have run it for us. So the other programming aspect, in the other programming world, instead of block we use try command, instead of rescue we use catch. Catch keyword, something like this. Here the name is block and rescue. So let me show you guys how it works. Last time it was failed. It was failed. But let's see this time. Again they fail this time. This due to other reason they fail, because if whenever you use block and whenever you use block or rescue uh, in your code, right, all the task would become inside the block or maybe in the rescue. All the thing will come inside this. Okay, but if you write debug inside the block, okay, inside the block, if one of the things will fail, this will won't run. And if you run the debug inside the rescue, if block runs successful, debug won't work. So if you have a requirement, either these tasks fail or not fail. They fail, they run this guy. They don't fail, they don't run this rescue. But in both the scenario, they fail or not fail, I always want to run this. Always want to run this. So in the programming world, guys, if you any error come, all right, if there's no error come up, use try. Some error come up, use catch block. But either error come up, either error don't come up. If you want to do something always in both the cases, then we have to use finally. So finally is a one keyword, right? Either error don't come or error come, right? Whatever blocks we write in the final or statement we write in the final, they always run. Similarly, we have in the Ansible also. In the Ansible, we don't have a keyword called finally. Instead of finally, we have a keyword called always. So if you want, in both the cases, either this fail or pass or this fail or pass, I always want to run this. So for this, you have a keyword called always. And in the always, you can write all of your module. So guys, whatever module we learn till date, yum or package or service or copy, we have to write here inside the block. If some other thing fail, then what do you want to do? I don't want to do crash my program. The program will never crash. I write in the rescue. Maybe in the rescue will send the mail and say something happened, just go and check. But always we maybe want to print something or want to do something else. Maybe if maybe some of the other tasks will create some file. So after they create the file, this some kind of temporary file contains some password credentials. So before my program close, I always want to clean my file, remove my file. So we can write always because always run. Okay, so these are multiple use cases where you can write always. So one error here. Why we have this error? Always debug. We have the task. Inside the task, we write block. Okay, then rescue, rescue. Then we use always. Why we have this error? It shouldn't be. This this error, guys, because of the indentation. Rescue. Was the error? Guys, if you're able to see any spacing. Task is this is right, I think. Maybe one more thing, something in some version. I don't think so logically, but maybe give a name. My block, and this is the block we have, and we have multiple commands here. Okay, then we have a one more block called format, guys. One more block called name. Okay, in this name, even though we don't require to give the name, I think this was a challenge actually. I think this was a challenge. Okay, because according to task perspective, format. This is some intention issue. One minute, guys, please. Let me clean. Just a minute. I'll let me explain. I think it should work. There's one small thing. Yeah, now it's working. So this small thing. Logically, you guys might understood, but before I show you one minute why this error. So if you see, guys, because my try my blog got the error, but they never fail. They never fail. They handle this exception, and they go to rescue, and they run the command, and they run this command, and my debug also run. See, and so finally, guys, always run. This always run. Okay. And guys, the challenge was because you guys know in the Ansible, task is a one keyword, like a one variable. Task is one variable, and this variable always accept list. So we have to provide the list. Okay, so block, rescue, and always is a one is a one block of code, and I create one list here. And this list also I give the name, even though giving the name is not compulsory, but just give it a list. So that was the only challenge. Otherwise, everything is good. Okay, so typically tasks we always run once, once, and in any of the command that you feel they have, you have to check the conditions. So accept handling, use this block of tasks in the block part. If any of these guys fail, right, what you want to do in the rescue or the catch, you want to modify or another command, run in the rescue. But what always you want to run, put in debug. But can you run anything apart from this block? For example, can I run one more task here? Name, for example, my test. Let me try to run debug here just for testing. Can we run one more task outside the block also? Let's say start, just for printing. So if you see here, because task is the module, this task we are running a debug module. In debug, we know debug guys never fail. So we write the debug outside of a block and rest. But we know this will all sometimes they fail. So if you have a condition that sometimes they fail, always to use a rescue and block. So what I'm trying to show you, just if I print this, so they run first task, they print it. Second task, because I believe that it might fail, so rather than I directly run, I put in my block of code, right? My exception handling. So multiple tasks we run here afterwards also here, because task can run multiple tasks. But main thing here is if you think in some of the command you have a doubt, they might fail due to any of the reasons, always put that particular commands inside the block. And what your rescue plan for this right here. And what you always want to do, maybe you always want to send some mail that they fail or not. So I can store this variable into X, I can store this variable into Y, and I can mail here. X is fail or Y is fail, something like this. So we can do here. So this also can do. So this is guys one more great advanced topic. Very simple topic, but normally come in the advanced part of that. So it's a good way to plan. Okay. So that's all guys. Some more topic left. Some more topic left. And I told you guys, according to the program, there is not as such topic left, but as I committed, anything that you have in mind that you wanted me to discuss extra in this program, I definitely discuss, guys. Don't worry. Okay, so according to the program, I don't think so much date left. We can very soon complete this program. But if you have anything extra also in the Ansible that you want to cover, that you want me to cover, related to Ansible only, obviously, I will definitely love to cover in this program. Okay. So that's why I see you tomorrow. A very important lecture we have arranged for you, right? They will share you a lot of use cases with you guys. Okay. Any questions, guys? If you have till now, you can ask me. Guys, we will soon start your 294 examination bootcamp. And according to the policy, guys, the bootcamp is only eligible for the student who go for exams, right? So this is one thing. Somebody asking me here. And second thing, but yeah, maybe guys, if you are the part of Earth program, because in the Earth we are sponsoring um, about some of the maybe most of the part of the fees in your Earth program for you guys. So when you go for the examination in the Earth program, that time I will take one more time boot camp, right? So, so anybody who are the part of Earth program, so they can attend the boot camp in the Earth program. Roshan, yes, we also planning to do some sponsorship in RSCSA examination. RSCSA I'm talking about only for the IIC RISE student because there we have conducted RSCSA training, right? So in the RISE class, there's 2 or 3 classes left from my side. So there I will announce we have a plan because this is from the community side. So as from the IIC community, we are sponsoring some exams and fees there, right? Not some, a lot. So we'll announce there. Nikhil, I definitely try to integrate so you with Jenkins. I'll definitely try in upcoming class. If you launch a load balancer instance and the web server instance, how to define the host name? Because I think this point I already addressed. The differentiation of the load balancer IP address and the web server IP address in EC2 would be from the name, the tag name. So when you launch the OS, all the web server give the same tag name, like name equals to web, and load balancer give the name, this called tag name called name equals to LB. So this will help you to differentiate the IP. And they both the tags, then they create 2 different groups, those called host group, and accordingly you can use. Yes, Himanshu, we will do RSC bootcamp in Earth, right? Right. Anybody who are in the Earth program, and we will conduct one more detailed bootcamp of RSC in our upcoming Earth program. No, Sudhanshu, Earth only in a program, guys. We have planned for the Earth. There's a reason, guys. If you see the content of Earth program, it include all the technology and accordingly, guys, we are planning to connect the companies within it. So the profile the companies come in it would be for that profile only, right? So that is the reason we only enable in it for the Earth program. Even though we are also in it opening, we was also opening in it for summer program 2020. That is also normally again at very different level, but because of the COVID, we weren't able to conduct the summer. So init program is only open for the earth guys. Yes, Dharminder, you can use multiple rescue. So every time you use block, you can use rescue. I told you guys this is one one task I have created. So you can create one more task, and in the task also you have a chances they will fail. You can use block, and again, if you use the block, you can again use the rescue. Yes, so I also teach OS hardening or server hardening. So we used to have paper in Red Hat called 413. Now they changed the name to 415, more about security. But right now there's no plan for in my calendar for upcoming classes for server hardening or OS hardening. How to how you register from one from host to another. Achilles, I not able to understand what exactly you're talking about. How to register from one host to another. Which kind of registration you're talking about? Yes, Sivendra, we will cover some more example of filter in the Ansible. Some example we already covered the filter, right? If you use the setup module where I explain you the filter, but there's some more example I think which context you're talking about. We will cover. So I was waiting for some other module to be used. So they might there we might cover filter, for example, broken file and something like this. So yes, we will cover some more example of filter, even some more advanced example of filter. Right, we will cover definitely. So Venkat is right. Let me see if we can take one class of difference of Ansible with Puppet, Ansible with SaltStack, Ansible with Ceph. Let me check if we can take this particular topic. Yes, guys, I'll take one class on. I'll take some portion or discussion of Ansible collections also. Rohit, if you can tell me the use case of the state module with the cell, I can give you a proper answer, right? If you can tell me a use case where you want to use state module with the cell module. Akash, if you say if you create a load balancer and if a service expose, then obviously load balancer will work, right? And normally we expose the IP of the load balancer rather than our service IP, right? I don't know which context you're talking about because you use the terminology with respect to Kubernetes. So obviously, if you expose, normally we expose the load balancer IP. Okay. Yes, Achilles, so we can have two IP in single playbook. So if you want to do the same step in one single IP, same step in two multiple IP, you can use comma here, have multiple IPs. Or you have other thing to do, you can add one more host enter here. You know, this example I show in the initial class is this called one file two playbook we have. Both the way it will work. No, Venkatesh actually Ansible or none of the programming or scripting language become complex actually. Is all upon your task, right? If you have a good knowledge of your task and what procedure you use in your respective use case of the task, just those steps are right in the Ansible, but it's depend how you manage, right? Right. So I suggest every component or maybe task have multiple microservices and every microservice has a multiple components. So try to create a proper rules, right? So the way you arrange the things that makes the things right. But the concept that I explained you till now and the keyword that we use, almost all the major task can be solved. But only requirement is you should know in your use cases or project which kind of uh, which kind of steps you want to use, and maybe you want to use command module or not, or maybe they have a pre-created role or not, or you have to create your own. So multiple things, right? Yes, Bhavesh, definitely we will have some break in between in the earth, obviously. Right. On average, the program will go 6 days a week, right? On average. So, Hamleta, there will be no so much class left. According to the program, there's very basic topics left, right? So, if I covered this basic topic, I think 2 or 3 days it will be covered very easily. Not so much advanced, very basic topics, but it depends upon guys what extra you want me to discuss. So, classes may a little bit go more longer. That's a different point. Yes, Subhankar, examination link will be open maybe 31st. I'm not sure, but I think we have already shared the examination link to you guys, I believe. Vaibhav, if you want to make your container running, uh, especially using the Ansible, right? So one small trick you can use. So they have a command module, and the command module, either you can use sleep to control it, or maybe you run some program that is keep on running in the behind the scene, right? So depending what actually you want to do inside the container. Okay, so if you want your web service keep on running, then you can use httpd command there. So till the time http keep on running, your containers keep on running. So in the Docker container module, you can use the command module and run some program that is keep on running behind the scene. Yes, yes, you can also use Windows as a as a managed node of the Ansible. Okay, and how to use? Let's see how I can take this part or not. Maybe I'll try to take this part also. No, Jubin, Ansible doesn't bypass the authentication. Right there, I give my login and password, right? So login and password doesn't mean you have to go via GUI only or web UI only. Technically, you have to log in to the mail server of Google. And in my code of mail, I show you, I use my login and password there. I first log in, then I send the mail. Ritesh, it depend if you know the product like Cisco firewall or Apache Tomcat, something like this, then you can create your own role according to requirement. But if you're not domain level expert of your this particular product, but you want to use Ansible to automate, right? Then the only choice left would be to use the pre-built roles. So depend, right? Right. So which where you want to. Splunk training, yeah, Vivek, very powerful topic. Let's see how can I do. I really like this product, but challenge is the time. So, guys, then lots of questions I have touched. Try to touch here, right? So maybe some more questions, guys. We will see in the tomorrow class, maybe. Okay. See you tomorrow, guys. Same timing, 9:15, and we'll learn some more new thing. Bye. Take care. See you.